We'll call the work session for October 28th, 2025 to order. So we have approval of minutes of the October 14th regular minutes and work session minutes. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none. Mr. Baker, consideration to approve the recommendation to adopt policy number 10.05, controlled email access and policy for IT related. Please tell us more.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council, esteemed guests and citizens and department heads. There's two policies that we can probably address in tandem if it's okay with you all. We haven't had any updates I sent you all the email. We haven't had any updates to the IT policy in quite some time. And these two are suggested we have a cybersecurity insurance policy that we have. This is an overarching policy. It requires two-factor authentication as we log in, and some other changes that need to be made in our policies. So policy 10.05, the purpose is to establish security protocols for controlled access, email access by IT administrators in tomorrow municipal government. This ensures the protection of sensitive data, compliance with relevant regulations. For example, NIST Cybersecurity Framework, CJIS, and mitigation of risks such as phishing, unauthorized access, and data breaches. And this not only it appears to apply just to IT administrators, but you'll see as the scope, it also includes full-time employees, contractors, third-party vendors, and any other administrators, and it covers all platforms, including on-premise servers, cloud-based servers, Microsoft Office 365, and related infrastructures. There is a definition list there that breaks down the definitions for you. It also talks about the procedures, the multi-factor, the MFA rather, it allows you to control access to the actual machine itself. We've done that through Duo, which is used by the federal government. You can do that on a cell phone. You can do that on your actual desktop or your laptop. These are all compliant through the federal government, and it also is required through our cybersecurity insurance to mitigate losses for us. And this is to control losses for sensitive access to information that citizens may be sending us. We get tax bills, we get all kinds of information from citizens that need to be protected, as well as confidential investigations, et cetera. So it also encourages and requires strong password and authentication processes, anti-spoofing. It deals with the email encryption and infrastructure security, monitoring, audits, and training and instant responses. Part of this policy requests a security audit every week be provided. And it just prohibits those unauthorized access to emails, because inside those emails many times include, particularly with the police department, fire department, you may have HIPAA-related information in there. You may have confidential information for investigations. You may have personnel information. So this just puts a prohibitor on that so that that information doesn't get outside the city and put us at risk for liable loss. That's
Questions?
10.05.
No question.
Mr.
All right.
Clark.
No questions.
Ms. Dean.
I do have one question regarding the updates and backups for the system. Where would that be, information or data be?
The information on most of our information is stored on. We have servers, but we also have cloud servers. So the cloud-based servers are obviously not on site, but there's typical updates, just like on your cell phone, just like on your regular computer, and it just requires updates and backups to be offsite, and it enumerates in here. Email data shall be backed up daily for secure offsite locations with quarterly restoration tests to verify the integrity of those backups. Those are typically done offsite on servers. We do have some on-site servers, depending on what type of, different systems have different emails as well. So our Perfect Venue, for example, has emails stored in it. It's in their server, which is secured. Ours are backed up to the Windows server. So, I mean, we have different locations for those servers, just to make sure that those backups are occurring, because we are required to hold the data for an extended period of time.
So is that open request information in this server, or if we need that information?
Yes, ma'am.
We do
Yes.
have still the
Oh,
access
yes.
to give the 3-day.
Oh, absolutely, yes. All the open records request information we get, based on Georgia law for our holding times, we do have all that information, and it's accessible. And we've recently done that a number of times, as the city clerk can attest, since he handles all the open records requests, that we are able to comply with those with no problem. That's just to make sure that that's not corrupted or anything else, and it's available.
Okay.
Ms. Wynn?
No question.
10.06 is privileged information access for IT administrators, as well as the same individuals I mentioned before, any kind of contractors or anything else we have, as well as other employees here. It defines what the privileged information is, and I think it's worth a read. Sensitive or confidential data, including but not limited to active law enforcement investigations, protected human resources records, that is personnel files, medical information, employee communications, financial data, or any other information not directly related to an active security threat. The procedure is just basically to make sure that anybody who's just curious can't go in and peruse around in information. There needs to be a data trail on that. This is something that's set up on a state level, on a federal level, and at most municipal levels. So this just gives us that platform to where it specifically states that you need a reason to be looking through other people's data. And there needs to be a trail on why that's done. If there is a security breach or something of that nature, this allows us to mitigate, one, the breaches to start with, and then also to find out where the breach came from. So this is just includes the monitoring tools or anything else that anybody might put on someone else's computer, whether it be an outside source or an inside source. There is an authorization process if we think that there's something going on, so it doesn't preclude us from being able to stop something, or if we suspect some kind of activities going on, that we can address it. But there's a step process for that. There's some safeguards in here. There's an audit, and based on what the policy, the insurance policy says, it requests that you do an annual audit on these. I have been in contact with the FBI office here in Atlanta, whom I'm a friend with the lady who's the special agent in charge. They offer that service free of charge for municipalities and for counties, just as not a probe, but just to make sure to overlook the high level data, to make sure that there's nothing abstract with the systems they have, which they can run them like that as opposed to anything else. So that may be an option for us to come into compliance with that and make sure that our policy stays as low as possible. Training and awareness, again, is mentioned in this one because that's important for individuals, all tiers of our organization to have that kind of training. And if there is some problem, that we have some kind of a retrieved and a way to look at that and assess those threats and to go back and figure out if there's something else we need to do. So if someone sees a breach or someone sees something suspicious, that they're supposed to report that as well.
Questions, Ms. Knight?
No question.
Mr. Qual?
No question.
Ms. Dean?
No question.
Ms. Wynn?
No question.
Item 2, consideration to approve the fire department recommendation to surplus expired COVID supplies. Mr. Baker?
Yes, sir. These are listed behind there for you. These are some that, conversation with the fire chief. They're expired and beyond their shelf life. As you know, we might be surprised that surgical masks and some of those things do expire, but they do have an expiration date on them, which makes it kind of a liability for us to utilize those type of things in case they don't work. So these are things that they will look and see if someone will accept them as donations prior to disposing them, and we'll figure out how to get rid of those. But they're all listed back there. They were purchased, I think, back in September of 21 for the most part, or 20 in some cases. So these things have an expiration date and they're expired. And the fire department is wishing to put these on a surplus list to get rid of them.
Questions, Ms. Knight?
No question.
Mr. Clark?
No question.
Ms. Dean?
No.
Based on who they're giving it to, will they be able to use them?
That's, if they can give them to someone that will accept the liability of the expiration dates, yes. If not, then we'll just have to dispose of them.
So can we give them to citizens?
Did you want a mask?
Just answer the question, sir.
Well, there are parameters of which we must operate on the surplus, but some of those could be if we offered them out to the citizens if they want to take them. I don't know. I'd have to investigate the liability of that because we don't want someone to think that they're secured with a NBS mask and not be.
We could sign a waiver.
Could get a waiver in blood.
Ms. Wynn?
No question.
Let me ask one.
Yes, sir.
Right. So we're offloading, some things like a face shield, I'm a little bit, like, yeah, right. But what are we replacing them with?
I don't know, this is where stockpiled information, so we do have some current medical stuff that they can utilize, but as far as replacing the stockpile, I don't know that we have plans on that as of yet. Unless the council would like for us to do that, and I can direct the fire chief too.
You know,
But they have operational face shields. These were stockpiles specifically for that incident. So, and they were for, obviously we're going through them at a rapid pace. So they do have things that they operate with on face shields and things that I think are more permanent. These are more, don't think of these as necessarily, according to the conversation with the fire chief, I haven't actually laid eyes on them, but these are more of a temporary basis to where if you're doing something quick, fast, and in a hurry, you've got the mask and put on, and they're not you're not your permanent type mask that we currently
so
have.
when he got the $2,800 number, is that the replacement cost of what they were worth? when
Oh,
they
no,
sold?
that's what they were worth when they were purchased.
Of course. All right. And the only reason I say that is we never really know what tomorrow's gonna wake up with, especially when you talk about antiviral stuff. Remember how hard some of this stuff was to get?
Absolutely.
And we got ahead of the curve, remember? Right? We made decisions that basically said, if you're, the medical experts basically said, don't worry about it, and we made a different decision. And we got in line for some of this. I would like us to not ever be behind, especially on things that we know they ran out of, right?
I will,
And COVID is not, there are people out there who have COVID today. So, maybe not the strain that was out there at the time or something along those lines. So let's just say sure, but, make sure we have a backup plan for whatever else might be happening.
absolutely. I will direct the fire chief accordingly.
But is he gonna be here later? Maybe we,
Oh, he's actually out of town on vacation the
what
rest
a
of the week.
shame. I thought we'd hit him with that blind and see what he came up with.
We can wait till next week.
Item number 3, consideration to approve city manager's recommendation to proceed with Georgia Power for the lighting upgrades. Mr. Baker.
At the Morrow Station, we have a 52 basically high-pressure sodium post-top fixtures that are out there that need to be replaced. Most of them are, if they light, are very dim. We have repeated problems out there. Some of these may
And
be.
Morrow Station's the project over by the university, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure everybody knows.
So the request is to fix those with a turnkey LED light grade up installation for those 52 heads. And there's several options back there in the letter that I included from Joe Cobb. And one of them is we pay nothing. But if you do the numbers on the $50,000 that I think we should proceed with, there's 3 options: pay 0, pay $25,000, or $50,000. Doing the math there, I think we figured out that that's a 6-year payoff on that number. So saving us money in the long run would be the optimal way to go. And some of these lights will probably be augmented or replaced as opposed to just the regular LED with some camera systems as well. So just to add security and shore up that area out there. But we do have complaints out there of the lighting and numerous other things. So it would help us immensely. So my proposal is that we do the $50,000 on that.
Questions, Ms. Knapp?
Just very quickly, and I know this is hard off the top of the head, do we have something similar? What's the lighting deal over at the Morrow Center? Because I think you've mentioned
Ooh,
before.
that's
that we
old
pay
and
for
gonna
those
be,
lights.
that's actually in the works as well, so that will be coming before the council shortly. Talking to Joe to get on this one as well as a follow-up on the other. There were discussions, and I feel like we should have some kind of symmetry out there as far as what the school board puts in and what we replace ours with, because you guys have seen those are kind of wretched and old, and part of our target hardening for that area is also to have some of the camera systems, environmental sensors, maybe some IoTs, something out there that kind of do a ring perimeter for us, because we have cameras on the building, but not so much in the parking lot. But I want to have something that matches what the school board's doing in that parking lot. So they've made a decision, and it's, I think, just for aesthetics, that you want to have the same kind of light in there. Obviously, good lights that go in out there. So those are different. We'll probably put arm lights out there to cast more light. And LEDs, that's the way most things are going. The problem with the LED is because our systems are so old. You would think that'd be less pull, which it is, but there's also a negative that runs through there, and apparently it burns out between the span of 15 to 20 lights, and they have to dig it up and replace it, put on a work order. And so that's where you saw some lights on Mount Zion. They put in the new bulbs, and bam, they were out, and they were out for a couple weeks, and then they finally got the negatives back in, and then they come back up, and then it'd burn out the next row. So that's just something that they understand now that they have to do. But in the new lights coming in for the school board, ours will match theirs.
Okay.
Mr. Quah,
No question.
Ms. Dean.
52 existing, it's gonna be replaced, and that's the street as well as the circle?
Yes, ma'am. 52 heads out there on the entire property of all the lights that are out there. So this is no new poles or new installations. It's
Okay.
going to be replacements of that head unit that's up there.
Okay, so, what about, power source?
It's going to pull the same power. Those
I mean,
those are not
for-
as old as some of the ones on Mount Zion. So, but the power source is already out there
I
for all
mean,
those
to-
lights.
To tap into, if someone needs outlets or something.
Oh, no, they
that's
said that
you're
those
taking
people
away.
that were doing the farmer's market were stealing power, so we're cutting off all those,
Taking away?
yeah,
Okay.
taking those off.
Okay.
No, no, this doesn't add anything to the poles or any outlets out there.
Okay, so there won't be any outlets.
No, this is just replacing the heads that are up there.
Okay.
Ms. Wynn.
No question.
Now, a question on not only these lights, but ultimately any of the other lights we may have. In the years past, we put some rocker arms on the side of them to hang banners off of. Are they just replacing the head, or is this the whole pole? And
These are just for the heads, so we're not doing anything on the poles themselves, because those poles are all good out there. Check into some, posted.
I was just gonna say, if we ever do that route, remember, the arms that we got are non-traditional.
Right.
They don't match anything.
No.
Which means when we order the banners off the shelf, they don't fit
Right.
So do
on
something-
almost every one that we have. That's true. Yeah. So we end up either figuring out a way to make the banners, hang at the bottom, with some type of weighted, or other. But if we're not changing it, then another discussion for another day.
Yes,
Any other questions?
we have,
Hey, Miss Cherry, good to see you. What you got?
Can I ask a question?
By all means.
Lighting. This morning on Channel 5, they were talking about, I think it's Alpharetta. They were testing out some new kind of lighting. It was like a street light. It went up and then it had the light on the pole. It was really kind of weird looking, but it's brand new. They're testing it for 20 power.
it's probably one of the new poles. We've looked at those. They have a mount. One of the problems with your lights that you currently have is that you don't have channels to run some of the connectors for the Internet of Things or the IoTs that we can hook up, like cameras, environmental sensors, et cetera. So people counters, whatever you're putting up there on the pole. So those are probably some of the ones I would imagine that we've been looking at. And Georgia Power is testing those out. They're solar hybrid. So they have a barrel-shaped battery towards the top that has a solar battery on it that allows for kind of a lesser use of power, but you also have a backup on that as well. So that's probably, did you remember the name of the pole they were talking about? The light? Like a Jungo, is it Jungo, I believe? So, but that's one of the, there's a number of them that offer those out, but I know that they're testing those there and in Peachtree Corners as well.
It was neat looking.
How much were they?
Are we adding this one to the agenda, Baker?
If I could entertain you all or request that you all add this this is something that came in late last night, but I think it's important enough if we can add it to it.
Item number 4. Let's talk about it first and see what the city council wants to do.
Okay.
Go ahead. Master Consulting Agreement, Capital Planning, Infrastructure, Finance, Management, and Services.
All right, as you all recall, we are partnering with I3 LLC consultants or financial consultants for us. They've been working with us for the past 6-7 months. There is an opportunity, they represent private equity for non-traditional lending for the city. There are parameters within which they operate, which they don't do, like streets and things of that nature. But if it's an infrastructure project that has a life on it, and that's one of the things, they have to put a lifespan on the project, they find private equity that gives us an opportunity not to have to bond certain things. We've currently been asking them to look at how, if the SPOS passed, how we could front load the SPOS because the cost of the dollar obviously depreciates over time. We have a number of projects we'd like to complete, and this would give us an opportunity to see what all this is. This is not project specific per se. It does include some of the smart city in it, but there's no definitive numbers on this. There's no definitive amount per se, and there's also no idea of what the interest rate is. What this does is allows them to proceed to find out how much they could finance for us and at what interest rate. And before anything else proceeds, it would be a formal coming before you with an ordinance to accept those terms, and then we would consider them at the time that they provide it. But this is just the green light for them to go ahead and find out what they can do for us and to provide that information for us in detail so we know what we would be looking at.
Very good. Ms. Knight, questions?
This is pending SPOS.
It's pending SPOS, yes, ma'am. And it is also they had dealings with they'd previously worked with the county and had not so good of an outcome, I guess, and I don't know what all the details are, but they're a little gun shy. So this just gives them, it's an agreement, as you see, there's no definitive numbers in it, and no bindingness to the agreement itself. It's just a make them feel better kind of thing, so they can go ahead and look at what they can provide for us and what kind of rates they can give us. So we get an idea of what kind of rates we're looking at.
Other questions?
Yeah. Getting this, I hate to sound like, but, getting this today, knowing that, this is, gonna be SPOS associated, I mean, we can wait till the first meeting in November, can't we?
It won't be just this one, it's
Yeah,
the
this
special
is-
tax district, where we're gonna have some of that money by the end of November. And we might wanna be able to do some signage, some streetlights, we just need to know the interest rate.
And this doesn't tie up spot, just to be clear, this is for them to go ahead and find out what the interest rates are, what the terms would be, what type of money they could do, and to give us a more definitive, there's nothing finite or binding in this whatsoever. This just gives them the green light to go ahead and look, to get us the rates, to see if there's private equity that'd be willing to loan to the city of Morrow, and to give us an idea of where we stand on that. Should the SPOS pass? SPOS doesn't pass, moot point.
Well,
And
moot
then,
point on
but at
one
least we
part,
know
but
ahead of
not on
time.
the other.
Sir?
I said moot point on the one part, but not the special tax district.
True. Oh, absolutely. And this is just giving them a green light to move forward to give us some more concrete numbers, because there are no concrete numbers in this at all.
So the special tax district, there have been bills sent out?
Will be soon.
Yes,
Okay, so you're saying by the time we have our next council meeting, we will have collected something?
we've collected some already on that first quarter, the ones who have paid. So, yeah, it's
I
in
guess,
process.
My preference is always to have better context and better comfort level in making a decision. For me, today isn't necessarily the day, but, it's more than me on the council.
Fair enough.
I understand.
So just to be clear, so no binding, no obligation at this point, any specific thing, it's just gonna get an okay for them to look into option that we can do? and
Yes, sir.
Anything like that, okay.
Exactly. Yep. And it's an agreement. It's not even a contract on this, and there's nothing that ties us to this moving forward, to move forward with it if we don't like what we see.
Ms. Dean,
Confidentiality and non-disclosure on here, 2025, is that,
I'm sorry, were you looking at Ms. Dean?
on the,
That was the initial engagement with I-3?
Oh, yes, we
initially.
have engaged with them previously, so, yeah, that's what that's referring to. And that's that they're not gonna give up their information, our
Okay.
information too, so. And binding confidentiality in agreements when an open records request comes doesn't mean much.
okay.
Ms. Wynn,
Can you clarify, because I see that there are 2 date of termination of the contract. The first paragraph is 30 days, and the last one on the last page is, second to last page is say 12-month termination of the agreement. Can you explain that further?
Sure, this is just that we're coming into this is an extension of the already consulting agreement that we have with them. So we have that 30-day termination rate if we want to. we can terminate with them at any time, obviously. So we're not in any kind of a fiduciary relationship with them as far as any loans or anything of that nature at this time. So it's just the consultation agreement that we have.
Yeah. And then also to look at a secondary point. So let's say we were gonna buy a house. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like
First, we wanna
pre-approval.
know, what the house costs. That's materials and the different things that we have. But somewhere in there, we wanna know what the interest rate is. Gotta know it. That's a pretty important little thing for us. And while you can look up, under, say, bankrate.com, we could all do it on our phones right now, and we could say how many, banks are willing to lend me what, at what interest rate. That's pretty clear. But remember, we're a government, right? A government is gonna get a rate that's gonna be substantially less than prime, right? Now the question comes down to how good of a rate, right? And so that's important for us, right? And we've got a number of projects moving. It just simply says, do I have a problem with, I've got to know your interest rate before I'm gonna do business with you. Just the way it is. And, maybe there's 5 other people we'll have discussions with as well, but we're already engaged with this one.
So we're saying the only way we're gonna get the interest rate is if we do this additional agreement?
Yes, ma'am. That's
Well,
how we
you're getting
figured
it
this out.
from
It's like a
them.
pre-approval deal. So this is a private equity firm, so they deal with private investors. Private investors don't like volatility as they get aged in their investing, kind of like you're almost on the cusp of retirement. You want to move all that stuff to bonds. They do the similar thing here. There's a pool of investors that they use, typically like to engage with governments. There's different pools that they pull from and different interest with those different pools. So it's not like a standardized bank loan, but the pool of investors they would come up with would then see what's proposed, see the city of Morrow and look at it and go, okay, this is what we'll do and for this interest rate, because it's secured.
And so with the agreement that we already have with the same company,
Mhm.
the financing that they're looking for, they don't have the ability to give the terms unless we engage specifically by project?
Well, it's by project, but it's also the fact that when we're serious to move forward with that, and then when we get to the cusp of having the SPOS project, as we get nearer to that, you don't want to, it's not like they're friends with all the private equity people, so when they approach the different groups, they need to have something to say, this is what we're looking for, this is what the proposal is, this is what the SPOS amount is, projected, and all of these things are, just like the fact that when you buy a house and you're promising for 30 years that you're gonna stay sane and keep a job and be able to make payments, it's kind of the same thing when they approach these folks and say, this is what almost like a pre-approval. You don't know which house you're buying yet, or which car you're gonna buy yet, but you're saying on your good faith, and this is the character and conduct of this entity or individual. So all we're doing is moving forward to say, this is the rates that they can probably secure with the SPOS in mind, because if we get the SPOS, it's a no-brainer that you're gonna have a facsimile of where we're coming in on those SPOS revenue payments to us. So there's obviously a variance in that. If we increase sales, it'll go up. If there's a decrease in sales, it'll go down. But somewhere in that median is what they're looking at doing, so that they can give us a set interest rate of what we're looking at doing.
And also think of it a little bit different too is, so let's say the city manager just wants to know the answer. Yeah. They also want this body to basically say, we're preparing or considering, financing a portion of what we're doing. It's in even the SPOS thing right next door. It actually says it right in there. Mm-hmm. And it says, are you serious about that? Well, depending on what your terms are, yeah, we're pretty serious. We'd like to know what they are. And that way they're not surprised if we come back and say, well, we're not gonna finance everything. We're just gonna wait till the money's in the bank and then we're gonna do it.
Right.
We're agreeing, we wanna look.
Yeah, and this is an
Under
agreement.
whatever terms, we gotta agree to the terms, but right now we don't have terms. And I can see why they do it, and it doesn't cost us anything. What difference does it make? Personally, I think they've already got the right to do it. I don't know why they want it, but
Yeah,
if
so
that's what makes them feel better,
I mean, that's why I'm
So be
asking
it.
questions, because I kind of feel like we engage with them
for a reason.
for a reason.
Oh, I
And
totally
the
agree.
details that they should be willing to give.
They're a little gun shy from the dealing with the county.
So
We are in the
adding another
county, so.
agreement to the agreement, that's why I'm like, okay.
Well, and it is an agreement which, I feel more comfortable bringing this before you all. Obviously, with an agreement, there's some signage rights that we could proceed with, but I'd rather have it in front of you all and say, here's what it is, this is, if we're getting on the cusp of that, so that when we get some terms from them and some of the ideas of what they have, we'll be able to proceed with that.
Yeah.
in confidence with
I just
y'all.
wanna be clear on what I understand, and that's
Yes,
why I'm
ma'am.
asking.
And it's an agreement on top of an agreement.
To tell us additional information that we.
Well, I think
felt
part
like
of
we
this
should
is too, that they can
get.
now take this to the
Already.
private equity companies and go, this is what they most recently agreed to. And as they move forward, besides with the time frame of the SPOS and the elections, that they can, I think it's part of what they do to get engagement with some of the private equity firms.
Okay.
Any other
It's
questions?
redundancy.
Fair enough. All right, go ahead.
Not related, if I may.
Come on, miss. Got a half hour, we can drink Juan Valdez coffee and talk.
Mr. Baker,
Yes, ma'am.
for, our Barton Memorial and our park out here, what's the update on those?
The government shutdown has impact, and that's no lie. On the Barton Memorial Park, for that to proceed, is we're geared up and ready to go for the surveys, for the geotechnicals, and to begin some of the tree clearing out there. However, before we proceeded with that, checking with the DNR representative that we have, she asked us to wait until the Muskogee Indian tribe could give a report back that there was no deleterious impact to them. After the government shutdown first occurred, I called her and said, hey,
You'd think
by
we were kidding,
chance,
wouldn't
did we get that done? And she said, oh no, government shutdown impacts all that. So I guess they're getting paid by the federal government. I don't know, but it is a derivative from the federal government grant. So as we wait for the Muskogee Indian tribe to get back from the shutdown and let us know that there's no deleterious impact, we shall be able to proceed. But until that time, I was asked, instructed, directed not to spend any money by our grant representative. As far as the city park, that's part of our plans with some of the SPOS too, and some of the budgetary deals is to get some of that done out there.
So that, I mean, we've already voted for the movie on that, right?
For the Barton Memorial,
And for here,
yes, that's part of the budgeted, yes, improvements out there.
so will the federal government have something?
Well, no, they have nothing to do with that one, but the Clayton County Tax Commissioner might, as we're, slow rolling
So
into
is
this.
You think we'll be, starting on that this year?
Oh, definitely, yeah. We'll get rolling on Barton Memorial for sure, some of that too.
Now, when you say this year, are you talking calendar year or fiscal year?
Fiscal year, of course.
Of course, is she? That's the question.
Oh, did you want
say that-
specificity on
Are
that?
you talking between now and December, or are you talking now and July?
Well, the fiscal year.
Well, I don't know,
That's our
I got the
budget
feeling
year.
she was talking like soon.
Well, I mean.
Well, no, Barton Memorial could kick off and roll as soon as we get.
Am I wrong? Did you mean by
No, I'm
December?
just looking at the time frame for, activity out here.
Okay, no, fair enough.
And since Barton is all forest right now, will we do one before the other?
Well,
We
that-
can
that
do them in
makes
tandem
logical
because
sense.
some of that'll be, most of that'll be private contracting out there to
At-
start off
at
with
Barton?
anyway. Yeah, that won't have any impact on manpower allocation out here. We're kind of, these last couple months are kind
Well,
of
the
busy.
number of children that are gonna play when it's 30 degrees will be significantly different than the number of children that will play when it's 75. So, I would say calendar year. Just could be me.
I just assumed that we would be, would have been already,
Well, but these 2 months are very busy for resources
I
and
wonder why.
manpower. So, yeah, as we get cleared up on some, plus, and we do kind of gauge those towards the winter months because you're not cutting grass, you're not doing some of that stuff, so it frees up some time.
Fair enough. Ms. Knight has some questions about the calendar.
About the cat.
Calendar,
Oh, yes, ma'am.
yeah, so the
I thought you
remaining-
said cats. Ask Miss Dean.
Yeah, and I bring it up because I know the last meeting in both November and December is during the holiday week. Not certain if we have the calendar set for meetings or if we are going to cancel holiday meetings, what the status is.
Why don't we stare at it real quick and see
I
what we
can tell
think?
you now, Thanksgiving, I will,
Yeah, I know there's, the one in December is on the 23rd.
Third.
yeah,
So,
the 23rd.
we historically
December
do,
and the 25th in November.
because it's Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
So what's the recommendation? Cancel both of those? Cause you got the 27th is Thanksgiving, right? The 25th is, well, why don't we just take them separately? Why don't we just say, you know, tentatively, let's cancel the 23rd, because that makes all sense in the world, right? Just looking at it. And then tell me a little bit more about the 25th, the Thanksgiving's right there, so. What say y'all?
I'm gonna be en route to Texas. If I have to pull over and call in,
You'll have to.
I will do that
have
if
to.
Qua is here.
I'm here always.
Oh, lightning,
I was gonna say, John,
lightning striking.
Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we cancel the one in December? And then, just kind of watch tentatively, we'll cancel the one for November. But we'll watch to see what's happening, because we know we have some things pending right before P and Z, right? Isn't that on the 18th?
Mhm.
You know, so
Yeah,
then
and
if the
we could
city's got
do-
the one on the 25th, that one might be worth
Yeah.
having.
time and capability for special called meetings prior to that as well.
Sure, we could, if we get those, I'm trying to remember the date on the P and Z.
I think P and
What's
Z
the
is
date?
the 18th, and that's a conditional
18th,
use that's
so-
important to us, so.
November,
Yes.
Yeah, it's right around the corner.
Tuesday.
So that 25th might be a good time period for us to get approval, you know, get them under construction before the year's out, if that's what they're gonna do. Let's just tentatively play it. We'll cancel December for sure, and we'll
Got that, city clerk?
tentatively keep the one for November depending on outcomes. Right? If outcome of P and Z is a negative, it doesn't really matter.
Certainly. Or we could, if the outcome is favorable and we need to move forward, we could do a special call if we needed
Yeah,
to,
fair
so.
enough.
However you all wish to do it.
Does that work? All right. That'll work. Look at us solving problems. Oh my
Right.
goodness.
Big boys and girls, shoot.
All right, let's get some coffee and we'll see y'all
Yes.
at 7:30.
What, no cookies in here?
For all the people that attended Safe Halloween this last weekend, when we put up a stage a certain way, you know, we're anticipating a crowd of somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000
Yes, I do.
people. Does anybody have a guess? And we did this through a geocoded map as to how many people showed up.
About 8,000.
What's the number, Baker?
10,100.
I know it was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Up like triple last year.
A little over 10,000.
10,000.
I can believe.
So when you do name brand candy, get out of the way. Let me call the October 28th, 2025 regular session of the Morrow City Council. If you'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Not sure where this one ended up, but let's go ahead, we'll handle two things. One is, are we gonna add, number 4, the master consulting agreement to the, agenda? Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion properly seconded. All those in favor say aye. Ms. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Qua?
Aye.
Ms. Dean?
Aye.
And Ms. Wynn?
Aye.
All right, be number 4. All right. Approval and adoption of October 14th, 2025 regular minutes and the work session minutes. You've had those before you. No questions, comments, or concerns. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So move.
Do I hear a second? Motion properly seconded. All those in favor say aye. Ms. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Qua?
Aye.
Ms. Dean?
Aye.
And Ms. Wynn?
Aye.
Motion carries. Consideration to approve the city manager's recommendation to adopt policy number 10.05, and then policy 10.06 is all under one line item, so we'll take those consecutively. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion properly seconded. All those in favor say aye. Ms. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Qua?
Aye.
Ms. Dean?
Aye.
And Ms. Wynn?
Aye.
Motion carries. Consideration to approve the fire department's recommendation to surplus expired supplies and they're all listed there, totaling an amount of about $2,800, and authorize the mayor to execute any related documents. You've had that before you. Any questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion properly seconded. All those in favor say aye. Ms. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Quah?
Aye.
Ms. Wynn, or Ms. Dean, I'm sorry.
With the, information, whether we can sign a waiver.
Okay, to hand it to citizens? Yeah.
We can drop those off over there right
Full service.
Oh, my goodness.
Is Miss Dean gonna hang out in her garden and these are gonna be best friends?
The N95s, you know,
That's a good
$50.
man. Miss Dean? Is that a vote yes?
Yes.
Okay, see, we'll work on that. And Miss Wynn?
Aye.
Motion carries all over. Item number 3, consideration to approve the city manager's recommendation to proceed with the Georgia Power for lighting upgrades at Moss Station with a prepayment of $50,000 and a monthly service agreement of $1,097. As stated by the city manager earlier, it's got basically a 6-year payback over the other type of items that we'd have, and basically a lifespan of basically 20 years. And that basically means we'd save about $100,000 over the lifespan of that, with this agreement versus the others that were proposed. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion properly seconded. All those in favor say aye. Ms. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Quah?
Aye.
Ms. Dean?
Aye.
And Ms. Wynn?
Aye.
Item number 4, master consulting agreement with capital planning and infrastructure and finance management. You've had that before you. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion properly seconded. All those in favor say aye. Ms. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Quah?
Aye.
Ms. Wynn?
Aye.
Ms. Dean? I don't know what my
Aye,
name
aye.
is. And Ms. Wynn. And motion carries. General comments from the audience? None? Comments from the city council? Ms. Knight?
No comments.
Mr. Quah?
No comments.
Ms. Dean?
No comment.
And Ms. Wynn?
Just a reminder to the public that, early voting is happening now. Please make sure you cast your vote for our council, locals level, and also, the public service commissioner, too. Thank you.
Who we voting for?
America.
Mine'll be simple. This weekend is gonna be Day of the Dead. And we should have some Hispanic bands out there, a lot of cultural things, some good food, so certainly look forward to that. Following week, we'll have Veterans Day, which will be, I think, November 8th, and that'll be inside the Morris Center. Look forward to that. And the last one for the year will be the City's Day in the Park, and I believe that's December 6th. Is that correct?
Sir.
December 6th,
Christmas in the park.
Christmas in the Park.
Yes, yes.
And that's always a fun time for us as well. So just put those on your calendar and come out, bring your family and enjoy. Good to see you, Benita. Good to see you, Mr. Collins, Miss Cherry, Lana. Looking forward to good things. And staff, good to see you. Nice to see you back from the Caribbean. You're looking tan.
Mayor,
I'm sorry.
do they have any?
Those are our new. Go ahead. Do you have any comments in the back? No, that would be y'all. Pam? No comments?
I just wanna say, I just came to hear the meeting, but I cannot thank you all enough, like, for the opportunity. They said that the events are big, but you ought to say how big. And they're phenomenal. Jesse and Elizabeth and all, like, they do such an amazing job, and they run it, like, it's it's more than what people say.
Shh, they're gonna ask for a raise.
Oh.
Knox right behind you over there.
I'm
Let's go.
really blown away, like the way and it's clean, it's the stuff, I mean, everything that you all do, it's like really top tier. I'm really, like they said, oh, the events are big, but that's the understatement.
So that was your first event with us?
Huh?
That was your first event with us?
Oh, yes,
Okay.
yes, the next to Independence Day, all of these events, these are all our first time.
Okay.
I love your chicken wings.
Oh, thank you. My son thought that you were joking when you ordered your chicken wings.
Yeah.
Yeah, we literally sold like over 70 pounds for fries.
Yeah.
I ran out. I underestimated. Wow.
That's how we like to have it. That's all good. Other comments, questions, concerns? We're adjourned.